What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for my weekly good and bad video for today. This one we're going to be doing, this one I couldn't wait to do. This one's going to be doing the good and bad video for Shane from The Walking Dead.
I held up my end, now hold up yours.
I'm not going back.
I've been in radio communicado with someone outside our orbit. Some of you might claim that I'm foolish. After everything we just lost, I'm willing to be the fool.
Okay, guys, so this video, of course, was suggested by Epic Zombie Killer, so of course everybody go subscribe to Epic Zombie Killer. He's the one that suggested this good and bad video for this week. Now, I do have to say, guys, of course, that you know, this video definitely is something I was looking forward to doing because you know, Shane is, you guys know, one of my favorite characters from the earlier seasons, and you know, I was really happy to get this one you know, suggested. So you know, this one won't be as long probably as the other ones because he's only in 2 seasons, so you know, we have to kind of, you know, focus on that too. But what we do know from him, though, or like what we do see from Shane's character, I just love his character. I think he's awesome. He really makes the first 2 seasons why they're so awesome, you know? Yeah, and just a little bit of a heads up too, tomorrow night, my review for episode 14 and predictions for episode 15 will be uploaded for you guys as well. That'll be uploaded for you guys. Last night's episode of The Walking Dead was really, really good, but I will not be talking about that in this video. So, let's get started with the Shane good and bad video from The Walking Dead. Okay, so Shane's character, of course, was introduced in The Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 1, the pilot, so he's a pilot character. And then, of course, we get to see him and Rick talking about, well, one, Shane's girl that is, like, you know, apparently, like, she's turning on every light switch and all this stuff. Then he talks to him about Lori and stuff like that and how she's pissing him all the time and stuff. And then they have to go, you know, they get the call in, and basically there's apparently 2 suspects, but there was a 3rd man, of course, and we get to see Rick get shot and all that kind of stuff. Now, Shane leaving Rick. Now, some people blame Rick, blame Shane because he lied to Lori that Rick died. He did think that Rick was dead at that time. I gotta stick up for Shane. I gotta say, him telling everybody that Rick is dead was a good decision because I personally probably would have thought he was dead at that time as well. If he wasn't dead there, he would have been just as good as dead, you know, like, you know, really. So, and, you know, I agree with Shane. How on earth would somebody survive that? You know, it makes sense, you know, because, the world is falling apart, army people are shooting everybody in the hospital, and not only that, but they also, you know, like, he's in a coma, you know, so it's, you know, the likelihood of him surviving is very small. So very good decision from Shane, telling everybody that Rick is dead, mainly because I think any human being would believe that Rick is just as good as dead, or dead at that time, you know, when Shane went in there to try to get him out as it is. So he puts the hospital bed there, and of course, we get to see that you know, he does get Lori and Carl out of the city and stuff like that. And we do see the flashback of when the city's being like burned, which I think is also really cool. So we get to see him at the camp. Of course, everybody else, him and Lori get together at this time, which it's like, I mean, what are you gonna do, really? It's like, well, you know, I mean, really, your options are not that good in the zombie apocalypse, but hooking up with Lori is a bad decision for any man. You know, let's be honest here. Hooking up with Lori is a bad decision for any man in this world, especially in the Walking Dead world, because you hook up with Lori and problems start. Let's just say that. And Lori is not your best choice. Let's just be honest here. It's true. Anyway, so we get to see, you know, Shane, lie, and she believes that Rick is dead, so she hooks up with Shane and all this kind of stuff. So, that's when little Judith kind of, comes in around this time, of course, I'm assuming. And then, of course, Rick, and you know, he bonds with Carl, all this stuff, and then Rick gets back. And then as soon as Rick gets back, Lori believes that he lied to her, which, in a way, yes, because Rick is alive, but he thought that Rick was dead. So yeah, so, like I said, I don't blame him for that. So still a good decision that he told Lori that Rick is dead, because honestly, I would have believed it myself. Just being honest, just sticking up for Shane in that situation. So yeah. Now, another good decision is when he beat the crap out of Ed. Now, you know, a lot of people are probably going to say, like, Shane went too far beating up Ed the way he did, but he hit Carol in the face. You know, let's all remember that. And Shane gave him a good beating, you know, and he beat him up to a point where, like, Ed couldn't even talk. Like, it was pretty bad. So, but I'd say Ed deserved it, and I think Shane was protecting Carol at that moment. from getting really beat up from Ed. So honestly, Shane beating up Ed, yes, it was in front of everyone and it was brutal, but another good decision by Shane, to be honest, to deal with the problem, you know, as any police officer would do, except now he can be as violent as he wants because the laws don't matter. So there is that. But yeah, so we get to see the group. Well, Rick leaves to go get Merle back, of course, with Daryl, and Shane and the others, of course, at the camp get attacked. So really shocking scene when you see Amy get bit and everything like that. Shane just with the shotgun, firing off shots at the walkers. Getting everybody up the hill or whatever to try to get away from the zombies that are attacking the camp. And he even tells Rick when he gets back, like, maybe if you were here, our losses wouldn't have been, you know, as bad, you know. And part of that I do agree, but at the same time, I think Shane blaming Rick at the same time, I'm going to have to say it was a bad decision for this one, because Rick brought back a lot of guns for them, and he, you know, he tried, you know, and blaming Rick I don't think was a good decision. So bad decision on Shane's part for blaming Rick. Now they decide to go to the CDC, which was Rick's idea, and of course, you know, it doesn't work out, but nothing really goes on with Shane too much at the CDC, aside from what happened with him and Lori, of course, in that room, too. So that was a pretty crazy scene as well. He kind of tries to get with her. But, you know, I mean, you know, he drank too much, though, at the same time at the CDC, if you guys remember that. So, yeah. But, you know, I remember that scene being crazy. And then, of course, Lori, you know, does, she, like, scratches him or whatever on the neck or whatever. And, you know, you have, like, these 3 lines on his neck or whatever. And then the next day, like, they're at breakfast or whatever at the CDC or whatever. And he's like, I must have done it in my sleep. And Rick's like, never seen you do that before. And he's like, yeah, not like me at all. And he just looks at Lori, and it's like, holy crap, dude, don't make it so obvious, you know? So yeah, but anyway, so that's Shane in Season 1, right? So, in Season 2, we get to see Shane go from Officer Shane to Crazy Shane. You know, let's be honest here. So, the first big thing he does is, of course, well, okay, he tries to, like, Carl finds the arsenal, and he kind of tries to keep him away from him, you know? You know, he's like, hey, man, go give him all to Dale now. Like, he's trying to keep his distance from Carl, just like Lori asked. So, yeah, good decision right there, because he's doing what Lori asked him to do. So, you know, there is that. But, of course, we do have Otis, of course, and the whole Otis situation. So, definitely for me, the Otis situation is one where, you know, no, bad decision killing Otis. You know, yes, I think both of them could have made it to the car just fine, you know. They could have made it, you know, I don't see why they couldn't have both survived that. Shane was just kind of being selfish in that point and killing Otis. So, really bad decision from Shane at that point. Now, Shane shaving his head, and this is when it kind of goes into, like, the crazy Shane. Now, telling Rick as well that they should abandon the search for Sophia. I actually don't agree with that one either. I think that, yes, at the same time, though, you know, after a certain amount of time, you're looking for a body. But the thing is that Rick lost her. Rick's going to look for her no matter what. So maybe Shane should have just kept his mouth shut at the same time. Let's just say that. But I get Shane's point of view as well, but I still have to say it was a bit of a bad decision telling Rick to just abandon the search for Sophia. Now, Shane also threatens Dale in season 2 as well, which I have to say was, it was an awesome scene, but also a bad decision because, you know, he's revealing who he really is in front of Dale, so there is that as well. But Dale doesn't believe Shane for 1 minute about the Otis situation at all either. So we do get to see the hookup between him and Andrea, which I thought, I'm like, well, okay, whatever. So, I mean, he can't get with Lori, you know, Lori's with Rick now again, so it's like, okay, good decision for Shane, I guess. Good for him, he got with Andrea, and yeah, that's fine. So yeah, now, of course, pretty much dead already, he busts the barn door open. So, now, I have to say, I really love the speech where he's in front of them, he's shooting the walker down, he's like, would somebody just take that? Why is he still coming? You know, you keep shooting the walker. You know, I have to say, I think Shane really brought the group back to reality in that, you know, he's like, risking our lives for a little girl who's gone, living next to a barn full of things that are trying to kill us enough, you know? Rick, it's not like it was before. I love that line because, honestly, he presents it in a very messed up way, in a very, like, holy crap, he's crazy type way, but he's so right about everything. You gotta admit, he's so right about everything. And he's like, screw this. Let's open up the barn door. I'm getting rid of these walkers now. I don't care what Herschel says anymore. He does it. And he protects the group by doing that. So I have to say that is one of Shane's best decisions. And I know some people may disagree with me on that, but I think that was a good decision from Shane to just be like, get rid of these walkers, you know, for good. So yeah, now the next thing I want to definitely mention is, kind of when he lies to Laurie. Of course, Rick and Glenn go to get Herschel back. Laurie goes after, and she gets in the car crash. And he basically, stupid Laurie, of course, and of course he lies to her about Rick being back. Now, this is also a very good decision. I have to say, it was a bad but see, a lot of people I think would hate me for saying I think it was a good decision because it got Laurie back there. She wasn't gonna go back unless she found out Rick was back, so he had to lie. It was the only option because you're not going to just leave Laurie out there to go find her. You're not going to do that. So, Shane kind of had no choice at that point. So, yeah. Now, the other thing I do like as well is 18 Miles Out. So, of course, they fight, Rick and Shane, over Laurie and over Randall and over everything pretty much throughout the series so far. And that's why I love 18 Miles Out, because it is a real fight for leadership in that episode. But, Shane wants to kill Randall, and I actually have to say, Shane trying to kill Randall in that episode, I agree with. You can't trust the guy. You can't. And I think Rick from nowadays would have just shot Randall, let's be honest. So, Shane was always a couple steps ahead from Rick, I found, a lot of the time, as is, like, evolving into the apocalypse. I found Shane was always a couple steps ahead from Rick in the apocalypse, Shane was adjusting to the world maybe a little too much or something, but he still was adjusting to the world faster than Rick was, I think. Because Rick was still kind of in cop mode at that time, trying to do the right thing and stuff like that. He couldn't even kill Randall, so it's stuff like that. But Rick from nowadays, I feel like Rick would just kill Randall, But Shane tried to kill Randall, and he fought Rick for it and all this kind of stuff, and over Laurie and the family too. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Now, him throwing a wrench at Rick, okay, bad decision, because I love Rick, and I don't want anything to happen to Rick. But the fight and him trying to kill Randall, I have to say, was a good decision from Shane. Now, the last part of it is when Shane kills Randall. Now, he kills Randall, of course, and, I'd have to say bad decision because he didn't do it without anybody, telling him, anybody else allowing him. He just kind of did it without the group's, opinions on it or anything like that. So, I have to say, I think Shane killing Randall just like that was a bad decision, but it was also setting up for what he was trying to do to Rick. So Shane trying to kill Rick, another bad decision. And I have to say, Rick killing Shane at that moment probably is the best thing for the series because Shane would have kept going more crazy. It was getting to that point. So yeah. But I have to say, guys, I absolutely love Shane's character. I think he's one of the best characters from the first season. First and second season. He is my second favorite character from season 1 and 2. Rick first, and then Shane. And then after a while, Daryl kind of took that number 2 spot. And now that Rick's gone too, I'd say Daryl's probably my favorite in the series. So, you guys see how that kind of works out. But, I have to say, I think he's a great character. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys think about him nowadays. Do you guys still miss him in the series? Because I do. I really wish. Would you guys imagine Shane in the Whisper storyline? Like, I couldn't even imagine. A scene between Shane and Negan, man, like, I just couldn't even. I get the chills just thinking about it, to be honest. So, anyway, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Shane's character throughout the Walking Dead series? Really good decisions, some bad decisions, of course, as well, but a really great character overall. So, anyway, guys, write your comments in the comment section below. If you're new here, click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my Walking Dead videos. Follow Dan's Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys, and of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another Walking Dead video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Anybody out there?